Anton Chekhov, a master of the short story, a surgeon of the human condition, and, dare I say, a comedic genius. In The Proposal, a delightful one-act farce featured in the Class 10 CBSE English textbook First Flight, Chekhov invites us to witness a most awkward courtship. Picture this: a bumbling bachelor, a headstrong bachelorette, and a meddling father, all thrown together in a hilarious whirlwind of misunderstandings, arguments, and near-feints. The play, set in rural Russia, revolves around the socially awkward Lomov, who pays a visit to his neighbor, the equally strong-willed Natalia, with the intention of proposing marriage. He arrives a nervous wreck, his carefully prepared speech dissolving into a series of stammered pleasantries. Instead of popping the question, he finds himself embroiled in a heated debate over land ownership, a recurring point of contention between their families. Just when the proposal seems lost in the mire of bickering, Natalia's father, Chubukov, gets wind of Lomov's intentions and intervenes. He is desperate to marry his daughter off and urges Lomov to try again. The second attempt, however, goes just as disastrously as the first, with arguments over trivial matters, including the superiority of their respective hunting dogs, derailing any hope of a romantic proposal. By the play's end, after much shouting, fainting, and general chaos, Lomov and Natalia do end up engaged, though whether this constitutes a happy ending is left open to interpretation. Chekhov, in his inimitable style, leaves us with a poignant reflection on love, marriage, and the absurdity of human behavior. Lomov, a hypochondriac bachelor pushing 35, decides it's high time he married. He sets his sights on Natalia, the daughter of his neighbor Chubukov. His visit, however, quickly descends into chaos. Their conversation about a disputed meadow escalates into a full-blown argument, prompting Lomov to leave without proposing. Chubukov, horrified, informs Natalia of Lomov's intentions, and she is distraught at having driven him away. When Lomov returns, hoping for a second chance, another argument erupts, this time about their dogs. The play ends with Lomov on the verge of collapse, being hurriedly married to a still fuming Natalia. Chekhov cleverly uses the seemingly trivial premise of a marriage proposal to satirize several themes. The most prominent is the absurdity of the Russian gentry, obsessed with social standing and material possessions. Lomov's desire to marry is driven less by love and more by a need for a wife, while Natalia is more concerned with winning arguments than finding a husband. The recurring disputes over land and dogs highlight the pettiness and absurdity of their concerns. Lomov is a bundle of nerves, constantly complaining about his palpitations and sleeplessness. He is desperate for a wife, but utterly incapable of expressing his feelings. Natalia, equally strong-willed and argumentative, is a worthy opponent for Lomov in the battle of wits. Chubukov, caught between his desire to see his daughter married and his exasperation with the two squabbling neighbors, adds another layer of humor to the play. Beyond the laughter, let's examine the story's moral compass. While The Proposal is undoubtedly a comedy, it also offers subtle commentary on social expectations, particularly around marriage in pre-revolutionary Russia. Chekhov highlights the hypocrisy of a society where marriage is seen as a business transaction rather than a union based on love and companionship. Mirth and merriment, the tone of Chekhov's farce. The tone of the play is light-hearted and satirical. Chekhov employs witty dialogue, exaggerated characters, and absurd situations to poke fun at the foibles of human nature. The fast-paced, almost slapstick nature of the dialogue adds to the comedic effect, keeping the audience entertained from start to finish. The art of language. Literary devices in The Proposal. Chekhov masterfully uses various literary devices to enhance the humor and satire. Hyperbole is rife, with characters exaggerating their ailments and the qualities of their possessions. The dialogue is peppered with irony as characters say one thing while meaning another. The use of dramatic irony, where the audience is aware of Lomov's intentions before Natalia is, further adds to the comedic tension. Testing our understanding, competency-based questions and answers. Question: how does Chekhov use the setting of the play to emphasize his themes? Answer: the rural setting, with its emphasis on land ownership and social hierarchy, highlights the concerns of the Russian gentry whom Chekhov aims to satirize. Question: what is the significance of the recurring arguments in the play? Answer: the arguments, often about trivial matters, underscore the characters' pettiness and their inability to connect on a deeper level, exposing the absurdity of their priorities. A timeless comedy of errors, the enduring relevance of The Proposal. Over a century after its writing, The Proposal remains as relevant and hilarious as ever. Why? Because the themes it explores, the complexities of human relationships, the pressures of societal expectations, and the inherent awkwardness of courtship are timeless. Chekhov's characters, despite their exaggerated flaws, are remarkably relatable. Who hasn't experienced the nerve-wracking anticipation of a first date or found themselves in an argument over something utterly ridiculous? The play reminds us that beneath the veneer of social conventions and material desires, we are all susceptible to the same insecurities and foibles. It teaches us to laugh at ourselves, to embrace the absurdity of life, and perhaps to approach matters of the heart with a little more honesty and a little less pretense. So, the next time you find yourself tongue-tied in the face of love or embroiled in a heated debate over something utterly inconsequential, remember Lomov, Natalia and Chubukov, and take comfort in the fact that you are not alone in the great comedy of human existence. After all, as Chekhov so brilliantly demonstrates, life itself is often the funniest farce of all.